Good. Just to what degree, I guess, has your offseason been built around developing perimeter skill? I guess to what degree are you trying to or focus on trying to be ready to play or be prepared to play small forward? And what are some things you've seen in your game now that you didn't see a couple months ago when the season ended?
Well, during this offseason, I'm really just working on, or I have seen improvement in just making the right decision on a perimeter, and just also my jump shot has been has been getting better. Also, my handle's getting better, but I guess to say overall, I see a lot of improvement in just my decision making and just knowing when to make the right play and move the ball wherever. And what's the second part of that question?
Well, connected to that, I mean, are you focused on trying to play the small forward? Is that something that coaches are telling you to do? Basically, are you trying to be, are you trying to get minutes in the three? Is that important for you?
I'm more likely just trying to expand my game where I'm able to play as a three, so I can be more productive for my team and just be able to produce more. But that's really the idea of it. But mostly just expanding my game to the point where I can play the three and the four. So,
Mike Schumann.
I guess, Jordan, along those lines, as you think about playing some three at least, are there things within the offense or within the defense, like schematically, that are different that you have to learn, like how to, cover ball screens better, or, things you have to read on the offensive end, things like that?
Yeah, that's actually the harder part, really. But just learning things like transition defense, like as a big man, as a four, I guess, I would just run to the rim, protect the rim on transition. But as a guard or a three, as a three would, they would try to stop the ball in transition. So that's something that I keep in mind. Also, I'm fighting over ball screens now instead of defending ball screens. So that's kind of stuff that's different. But also the plays. The fours and the threes have different positions in place, so I have to remember all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot to it.
Alec Lastly.
Hey, Jordan. Thanks for your time. We've talked to a couple other players so far this summer, and the one thing that they continue to talk about is the competitiveness in summer workouts. Is that something that you see too? And is that also something that's kind of contributed to the increased talent level from top to bottom, all the way from the seniors to the newcomers now on the roster?
For sure. I feel like everybody's competitive. Especially Indiana basketball. We all want to win, and we all know what we're fighting for. So we all try to push each other to play our best. And one of our mottos is iron sharpens iron. That's from Coach Cliff. So we're supposed to push each other to be better. And I guess it is a sign that there's talent throughout all the different people in our roster.
Jack Ankeny.
Hey, Jordan. Thinking back to that Wyoming game in the NCAA tournament, that was your highest scoring game of the season. I guess, how do you think that performance helped your confidence and also just becoming more comfortable in terms of looking for your shot and finding your shot on the offensive end?
That game was needed. I feel like just it just kind of told me like, hey, I can do this. Like it's not something that I can't do. And I just kind of use that game as like a foundation to to just work on my game, outside of that. So I would just watch the film and just try to expand on my game, and try to see how I can do better. So.
Kevin Brockway.
Yeah, Jordan, I just don't know if you could take us behind the decision-making process during the offseason to come back. And obviously, with Race and Trace coming back, it's going to still be a fight for minutes. And did, possibly playing some small forward play into that decision?
What was the question?
Just your decision-making process in terms of deciding to come back for your junior year here, and given the amount of players that are in the front court here and having to compete for minutes.
Well, the ultimate factor of me coming back was I have trust in Mike Woodson, and I have trust in the program that it's bigger than myself, really. I want the program to be successful and to we're fighting for a big, for a championship. We're fighting for that. You know what I mean? So I want to be a part of that program and seeing all the players that came in, everybody that's coming back. And I'm like, I feel like this is something that I really can be not a part of. And so I trust the coach. I trust, the staff, the players, and I feel like it's a position to come back.
Tyler.
Hey Jordan, I hope you're doing well. You kind of showed the last 2 seasons, you've showed flashes of your potential. What do you think the key is to reaching that full potential? Is it something kind of more on the mental side of the game? Is it physical? What do you feel like the key is to reach your full potential?
I think the key is more of a mental kind of standpoint, because I feel like, I'm already athletic. I'm really athletic. So I feel like if I was to always just be consistent, keep pushing myself, play hard every single time, that athleticism is going to like shine. You know what I mean? So I feel like the next step into improving my game or showing my actual game is just being positive, always having like a battery, always just trying, make the extra play. You know what I mean? I feel like that would really show my potential. So.
Jim Coyle.
Hey, Jordan, I hope you're doing well. You just talked about knowing your athletic abilities. Going back to when you were first recruited and you came here, it seemed like you were didn't have the greatest confidence in the world, as far as you didn't think that you'd end up at a D1 school as big as Indiana. But now you've gone from that to where you are with great potential to seeing your own athletic potential and the confidence that you're getting, the almost a 180 swing. Just talk about the differences between being that young kid that didn't have the greatest confidence in the world to now someone that's looking to being a part of a Big Ten champion and then going on from there even.
Right. It feels great. I mean, because it's just a testament of, showing that hard work pays off. You know what I mean? Because, when I first came here, I felt like I had to prove myself. And, I put in the work to be able to prove myself. And, what happened. You know what I mean? So I feel like me in position where I'm at now is just proof that, hey, just keep your head down, work hard, and, you get to where you want to go eventually.
Next question, Kevin Vera.
Hey, Jordan, hope you're doing well. I kind of wanted to ask just kind of how this summer has been in terms of you observing Coach Woodson. I mean, he just wrapped up his first year. So how do you think this summer is different from last year's summer, and how he's kind of taken the younger guys on this new team with such expectations under his role?
I wouldn't say it's much different than last summer. I mean, he's still, taking, the freshmen under his wing and trying to, this summer is really just kind of just working on our games, getting the, our game better, but also is just get the freshmen and the new people accustomed to the system. So that's really what has been going on in the summer. So that's really what's going on.
Next question, Zach Osterman.
Jordan, I guess we've asked you about improving your game and different things, but just a question on sort of the process. I mean, how do you, when you're allowed kind of the time of an off season, you're not caught up in sort of the, game practice rhythm. Do you study film? Do you look at games where you played well last season, games where maybe you felt like you struggled to try and find things you can improve? Just how, when you have such a large period in time to focus on getting better individually, how do you approach that, I guess, beyond the obvious getting in the weight room, extra time on the court? Are there things that you do sort of specific to your game that you like to study or process to get better?
I guess I'll say film would be the main way to just get better. I watch film a good amount, and I feel like film can be as helpful as practice sometimes. Just knowing, figuring out how just watching yourself is a really good learning tool. So I feel like I would say film is really important. And I was saying something else, but I kind of had a brain fart. I'm not gonna lie. Dang, it lost me. But,
We've all been there, don't worry.
Yeah, my bad.
Next question, Dustin.
Jordan, I want to get back to what you said about what you're working on as far as the perimeter is concerned. You said you've been working on the handle and the decision making in particular. I guess for one thing, what have you been doing to work on your handle? How much better is it? I guess how would you describe, I guess, the improvements you've made handling the basketball, and how would you describe the improvements you've made in decision making? What are some things that you're making a point, or situations where you think you're making smarter decisions than you were, I guess, in the past? What's different there? What have you worked on there?
I guess I would say spacing is something that I really worked on. Like, so in terms of decision making, like that goes both ways, on ball and off ball. Just on ball, meaning like I'm getting better, just knowing when to try to attack, knowing when to shoot the ball, knowing when to pass the ball. You know what I mean? And that's the on ball kind of stuff. But off ball, just knowing when to cut, knowing when to set some actions like down screens, off ball screens, something like that. But those are kind of improvements that when I'm saying those are kind of improvements I mean when I'm saying that I'm getting better in decision making. But in terms of handles, it's just reps, really. Just I'm not gonna say I'm like Kyrie Irving, but like it's just better. You know what I mean? It's getting better. So, and seeing improvement is a good sight.
Mike Schumann.
I guess on that note of kind of NBA players, you talk about watching film. Are there players that you watch in the league that you try to model yourself after, that you could see yourself kind of progressing in the same way that they have?
Yeah. So one player I like to watch a lot is Deandre Hunter from the Hawks. I'm watching the games. I watched his game since UVA because my sister went to UVA, and that's kind of how I found out about him. But just watching his game, expand, and he just keeps getting better and better as a two-way forward. Like he can bring the ball up, he can defend, get a bucket. I like his game a lot, so that's somebody who I watch a lot in NBA.
Tyler.
Jordan, as far as being able to play the three and it kind of extending onto the perimeter a little bit, was that something Coach Woodson approached you about? Was that your idea that you came to him with? What was that kind of conversation like of really trying to expand your game on the perimeter?
It was more of me asking that question, like me bringing it up. It was more me bringing it up because I wanted to expand my role as a player.
Jack Ankeny.
Hey, Jordan. When you see opponents like North Carolina and Kansas on the non-conference schedule this year, does that add any added sense of urgency in the offseason, knowing that you guys got to be ready for some big-time opponents kind of right when the season starts? And I guess with that, how do you think those early season games will kind of prepare you for the Big Ten?
I feel like those big out of conference games doesn't really add urgency to the this off season. I mean, because we're already working hard. You know what I mean? One thing our coach always says is stay ready so you have to get ready. You know what I mean? So it's important to always just work hard regardless of what's going on. But of course, those big games are going to really help us in conference play, because it's going to just playing against good opponents like that. It's only going to help us get better. So that's good.
Jim Coyle.
Jordan, one of the things I wanted to ask you is, what I asked you before is going from one end to the other. And now, do you have personal expectations? I know that the team goals are always number one, and that is the focus. But within that, what are your personal goals that you want to achieve for yourself, get to, whether it's being a starter or whether it's playing X number of minutes a game or scoring X number of points a game? Do you have personal goals that you want to achieve that you see as that will help the team reach their goals?
I don't really have any specific goals because I kind of stay away from that. So like I won't try to because I hold myself to high expectations, and sometimes I meet them, but sometimes I don't, and I'm kind of hard on myself. So I tend to kind of avoid creating goals for myself, but just try to get better. Really, just try to be more of an impact. That's really the answer to that. Yeah.
Alec Lastly.
Hey Jordan, we've heard from a lot of different people now, potential for breakout players on this team and this roster so far. Has there been anyone that specifically kind of caught your eye in terms of the growth that you've seen them make over the last, whether it be month or from this point of last season?
Can you ask that question again? So I know it's correct.
Yeah, no worries. Just have you seen anyone kind of step up in the way that they've either played so far this summer? Just any sort of breakout candidate that you can see that maybe someone's not talking about up to this point?
Someone's not talking about. I like Caleb Banks a lot. I think he has game. I feel like just the rate at which he's working out and just getting better, and what he has already now, his physical abilities. I feel like he's going to be a sleeper.